Today we're going to talk about compliance and document management in both Command and DocuSign. To get started, we're going to log into agent.kw.com with our KW login credentials. Once we get logged in, now we're going to go to the opportunity in question. So we're going to go to the opportunities icon on the left side of the page. Find the correct phase and click on it. And then click on the title of the opportunity. Once you're in the opportunity details, we're going to click on the Documents tab. Next, we need to find the compliance event that applies to the documents we're about to manage. In this example, we're in the under contract compliance event. Now, we're going to start by creating the DocuSign room for this opportunity. Click Start a Transaction at the top right of the page. Now, what we just did was we actually just created the DocuSign room for that opportunity. Because we created the room from the opportunity, it created a secure connection between Command and DocuSign that will protect our data. Now we need to pull in the documents that we're actually going to be managing for this transaction. To do this, click Add at the top right of the page. Now we can bring in documents from our computer, from DocuSign form libraries and groups that your Market Center manages, from zip forms, from Box, Dropbox, or Google Drive. For this example, we're going to use DocuSign form groups. When accessing forms in DocuSign, you'll need to select your association from the dropdown, then enter your NRDS ID number. Click Save. This will give you access to those forms that you need from your MLS. Now, we need to select where we're going to pull these forms from in DocuSign. Use the first drop-down to choose whether you want to pull from the Forms library, which are the forms set up by MLS, or from the forms groups that your Market Center is setting up, which are going to be more organized based on the type of transaction. For this example, we're going to choose a forms group. Now we're going to select the group we actually want to choose from. On the second drop-down, we're going to choose Residential Listing Form Packet. Now you'll see all of the documents that are housed within that form group. You can either select form by form, or click Select All if you want all of the forms to pull into this room. Click Add when ready. Now you have forms that you can now work with and send to your clients to get signed. To do this, we're going to create an envelope. Click Envelopes at the top of the page. At the top right of the envelope screen, we're going to click Add New. An envelope is where we gather the forms we're going to send, choose recipients, and actually send the forms off to get signed, filled out, and returned. To start, name the envelope. Once you name the envelope, now let's add the documents that we are going to actually send. You can add one document or multiple documents here. Click Room Docs to choose from the forms that you've added to the room already. Now you'll see a list of the forms in the room. Select the forms that you want to actually send. Then click Add Selected. Now we need to add recipients to the envelope. Click Add Recipient. First, you can select from pre-tagged roles. These are roles that you've already defined in the room details. You've already added the name and contact information for, say, Agent 1, Buyer 1, Seller 1. Next, you can add room participants. These are folks who you've actually invited to the room instead of just sending envelopes to. And finally, you can choose to just add a name and an email address and define what they need to do. Once you enter their name and email address, now we need to choose whether they need to sign, need to view, receive a copy, or if they need to specify another recipient for this envelope. In this case, this person needs to sign. Next, use the More dropdown. This allows you to add access authentication, which is basically two-step verification for this envelope. When you send the envelope to this recipient, they'll actually get a code sent to their mobile device that they'll actually have to enter into the envelope before they can access. It's an extra layer of protection. You can also choose to add a private message specific to this recipient. We'll add another recipient to this using a pre-tagged role. In this case, we are the listing broker, and we are already in the recipient list. Click Add Selected. Now we need to specify the order in which the envelope is sent. Look at the number next to the recipient and change the order however you need. In this case, we are going to be the second person to sign. Once you've entered all of the recipients, now we need to add the email subject. Once you enter the email subject, enter the actual message to send along with this envelope. Once you complete the email message, go to the top right of the page for our next action. You can either click Save and Close to save this for later, or click Next. Now we get to the last step before we send. This is where you can make any last-minute changes to the forms before you actually send them. Now keep in mind that this is a demo, so none of our fields are filled out here. But the actual forms you'll be using in DocuSign will be pre-labeled and ready to use. But this is a good opportunity to make any last-minute changes to the form. For instance, if you wanted to add a note especially for this envelope, you could go to Note on the left side of the page and drag it onto the form. Give yourself plenty of space to type and add text. Once you've added the note or field, you can just click anywhere in the document to proceed. Before you actually send the envelope, you can preview. You can then switch the views so you can see what it'll look like for each recipient. You can also view the different screen optimizations, whether they'll view it on a desktop, a tablet, or a mobile device. Click the X at the top right of the page to exit the preview. When you're ready, click Send at the top right of the page. And now you've successfully sent an envelope. Once everybody has signed and completed the form, you'll see it with the completed status in the Envelopes tab. You can also go to the Documents tab up top, and you will now see the contract with the signed status symbol. Now you'll follow the same procedure for creating and sending envelopes to get all the forms signed and completed that you need for the entire transaction. Now let's go back to Command to see how we submit documents for compliance. Now that we're back in the Opportunity in Command and on the Documents tab, let's see how we actually add a file from DocuSign and from our computer as well. First, we're going to add the contract that we just got signed in DocuSign. So we're going to find the compliance event, in this case under Contract, and now we're going to find the contract checklist item. To the right, we're going to click Add a File. In this case, we're going to choose DocuSign. Now this is going to load in all of the documents that you have in your DocuSign room. You're going to notice that some of these say PDF, some of them say signed PDF. The signed PDF is what you've already gotten signed. In this case, we're going to choose the contract signed PDF, then click Assign. Now we'll see that it's added to the checklist. Now we're going to manually add a file from our computer. Click Add a File. This time, we're on the manual source. Click to browse. Find the document. Once you see that it's added, click Assign. Once you have documents added to the checklist, you can click the three dots next to any document to remove the document if you want to replace it, or print. Keep in mind, once you submit the checklist, you can't remove a document, only replace. You can also click on the document name to actually preview. Once you've completed all the required documents for the compliance event, click Submit to Market Center at the top right. It'll confirm that you've added all the documents and that everything is accurate. Once you've confirmed this, click Submit. You will then see the submitted status for that compliance event. Now that I've submitted the documents to my Market Center, they're now going to go in and either approve or reject each document that was submitted. In this example, they've approved every document except for the contract. Notice the rejected status. I can also hover over the rejection reason icon to see exactly what I need to fix. In this case, there was a missing signature on page 2, line 3. Once I get my missing signature, now I need to replace the document. Go to the three dots on that checklist item and choose Replace. Notice now you can view a version history of this document. First, when I'm replacing the document, I need to add a reason why I'm re-uploading. Once I add the reason, now I need to upload the corrected form. Once you've chosen the file, click Replace. Notice the replaced status. Now I can resubmit to the Market Center. Confirm that you want to submit, and then click the Submit button. Now I see that my Market Center has approved the replaced document. Notice the approved status. And on the compliance event, I now have the approved status as well. Now, repeat this process until every compliance event says approved, and you're ready to go. For more information, go to answers.kw.com and use the search.